F it, why not? Know what I mean? Either way, we'll get this started, man. Folks, what's going on? This is Arden here. Bring you into a new episode of the Foresight Podcast. But you already know I got my guys with me. Got the good brother Willz up top, got AK at the bottom. That was just a little switch up, by the way, with the intro. Just, you got to switch it up. Season opener vibes, you know what I mean? Bring that back. Had to bring the feel. Recording this right now on Saturday, September 19th, 2020, episode 133. 133 of the pod. We're back at it, man. The boys are back in town. Fellas, how we doing to start, man?
Man, I'm doing good. It was a good week. I've been doing my internship, so just been there, just sitting at the computer for the past 3 hours straight for 4 days straight. But aside from that, it's been good. I'm not complaining. Had a dope week.
Nice. Willz, what about you, good brother?
I've been good, man. Just chilling. Working. Work kind of been annoying a little bit. My boss is a dickhead. I'm going. But that's it. Just work. I've been staying home, chilling, hanging out with my new friend that I told y'all about.
Yeah. New friend. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's about it.
That's good to hear, fellas. Before I tell you how I've been feeling, is anybody plotting to get that new PS5, that new Xbox? What we doing? Who's plotting to get what?
I want the PS5, but broke boy status for the temporary time being. You're gonna be speaking prosperity into the near future. But if anything, I might do the Xbox for the time being. That's I know doing that subscription plan. That's an easy.
Yep.
30. I could shut out per month, so I'm not mad at that. So
they got that. I'm an Xbox guy, even though I grew up on PlayStation. So
I grew up on PlayStation, so I can't. It hurts for me to go on Xbox.
I had to, bro. You know what it was before I passed this to Willz? You know what it was, bro? It was the fact that I remember for the family I was babysitting, they had an Xbox. And I remember the fact that I could cut off the system and go back to it and resume the game after signing in. And that's what sold me.
I know.
That's what sold me. Because on the PlayStation, it was you can't really do that. You got to finish the game or play a game that allows you to save and then jump back in. So I was like, hold on, I could cut off the Xbox and get right back to it after signing in. So
they do that.
Nothing's been the same.
I'm going with PlayStation 5. I grew up on PlayStation, but then there was a time where I had switched over to Xbox when the 360 came out. And I was rocking with. Then I went back to PlayStation or whatever because I think all my friends had GTA for PlayStation 3. So I PlayStation 3, and then after PlayStation 4. But I don't think I'm getting it when it first comes out though.
It's not gonna anybody first come out either. Yeah, you gotta wait a couple of months. Maybe after they drop, they're gonna have the PS5 Pro, whatever, 4 months later, and that's the one you probably want to get.
I'll probably wait till January or something.
I'll be a perfect.
I'm getting that Series X, nice little holiday Hanukkah tree for myself. You know what I mean? Speaking of that, Shana Tova to my Jewish family out there as we're bringing in Rosh Hashanah. That means Happy New Year in the Jewish world and the Jewish culture. So Shana Tova. And again, man, you guys already know where to find us at Foresight Network on the gram, ForesightNY.com. Additional announcements. We're into the weekly playlist now. The Three-Headed Monster, Will's Body in the Rap Slaps playlist, AK's Body in the Afro Beats. You already know your boy Flag, man, the R&B lover doing his thing with the Relax and Be Yourself playlist. And salute to our interns, by the way, Quincy and Ariana. They're the ones that launched our Undiscovered weekly playlist, which is just filled with a whole bunch of new vibes, undiscovered acts. I told them this morning in the memo I left for them in place of our group meeting, I was like, nah, they smoked that. I was like, they smoked that. And of course, we have to give a huge thanks to you guys, the viewers that rocked with us this summer with the podcast as we dropped every other week. you guys was rocking with us heavy with just anything Foresight related. I don't know about you fellas, but I really think we smoked this summer, man. We really smoked this summer with everything we had to do, y'all. For real, I'm really proud of what we've done, man.
No, big facts. Big facts, especially considering all the bullshit that happened. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And then we don't even really pod. It was kind of like our first time like potted. So I feel like we killed it.
Yeah, we bodied that. And just to get into the show, episode 133, I was actually thinking about it beforehand, but I really think, and I texted you guys about it obviously, but I really think this episode is definitely going to be us in our business nerdy bag because there was a lot of business creative talk on the timeline. But I think before we get into that, let's start off with something light. Let's talk about new music because with this being our season opener, September has been very nice to us when it comes to new music. I mean, off the top of my head, obviously there was Detroit 2, new Baby Keem, new Lil Tecca, new Moneybagg Yo, and Black Youngster. A lot of dope R&B. Just a lot of dope stuff, man. Yep, that's right as well. I got put on the Cash page. Salute to her. She's really dope. Don Toliver got himself a record. That Lemonade record goes crazy. I know for me to start this off, my highlights, and I think that's the question I want to pass to you guys as well. My highlights so far this month was definitely Detroit 2. I want to give Sean his flowers because I really felt like he smoked that project. That project has been on my rotation over these last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Don Life of Wayne, Willz, I know you like that. Harder Than My Demons, Deep Reverence, Lucky Me, Friday Night Cypher.
Yeah, that's tough.
Still I Rise with Dom Kennedy. Willz, I know you like that. That record's really dope to me. That's definitely a record that picks me up. Yeah, so that starts with Sean. Obviously, Baby Keem Hive right here. So I was really happy with the 2 Baby Keem records. Salute to Tecca. Salute to Tecca for a solid project too. I'm on the Chloe and Haley wave. They're really, really dope. And yeah, I'll just cap it off. Oh wait, no as well. Willz, I was so happy you included Busy Banks' Quarantine Freestyle. Way to go. Way to
Busy
go.
That nigga.
Busy is that guy.
Yo, he be spitting.
You said, oh my
Busy
God, yo. Busy is a fool. Willz, what about you? What have been your highlights?
I want to shout out, before that, I want to just shout out to my boy Bubs. He put me on to that video.
Salute.
And I just been hooked ever since. But for me, my music highlights, I mean, of course, King, SZA, that hit different. I listen to it about like 10 times a day, watch the video probably. But yeah, that Detroit, of course, Arden, you already named all the tracks basically that I like. Yeah, and I'm kind of happy that Sean is back and Detroit is actually a good project because people was doubting my boy or whatever, and the shit is fire. I think it's like I think it might be his second best project to me, next to the Dark Sky Paradise. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Dark Sky Paradise. I agree with you on that. We're in the same boat.
I feel like this is like next up. I just hopped on the Chloe and Haley wave, thanks to you when you put that song on the podcast or whatever. People had the little fatty. I was trying to get next.
Of course, Willz. Of course.
That's a fact. Yo, Chloe, we love you.
You saw that they what you call it? I think they was the ones that was performing on the opening game for the NFL for the Chiefs Texans. They about to be out of here. Chloe and Haley.
They out of here already.
Oh, it's going
already. Yeah.
They going.
Yo, they out of here, bro. They crazy.
Well, Beyonce signed, letting these niggas fail.
Word. Other than I like the Big Team joint, Moneybagg Yo and Black Youngster. I didn't finish listening to the project, but it was good. Lil Tecca shit is actually really good, like you said.
I know, right? That second half.
Yo, I'm not gonna front. Like I was like, okay, let me listen to this. I even said, no disrespect, but I even said to myself, I'm probably not gonna listen to the whole thing like straight through. I'm probably gonna switch over, like listen to one of my playlists. Bro, I end up listening like the whole thing.
Me too. That same night.
But I'm just like, yo, this nigga, like, this shit is fire.
Yo, it really is. AK, did you have the chance to listen to Tekka?
I had the chance to listen to Tekka, but it just came to about like I've been heavy on Tekka early, so every y'all niggas say that shit is nice. I'm like, I'm glad.
Nah,
because honestly,
really
I got high expectations for that nigga, so I was expecting him to just keep that shit up, and he's been keeping it up, so I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, like Tekka, and it's what that makes the album so impressive is the fact that when you had as big as a record as he had, right, that at one point was literally top 5 on the billboards. I remember saying on the show how like I was at Rolling Loud when he shut it down with that record, and he had some joints after that I was kind of like man on, like Tekka, I don't really care about that.
I know what you mean.
But nah, I think after the first 4 or 5 joints on that album, because I think the album's like a 16 and maybe 18 song project. After the first 4 or 5, and I think Willz, you may have felt the same way. I was like, okay, this is all right. I might dip off from this, but nah, he caught a stretch where he was really on one, like some really nice melodic records, some nice spitting records. I was like, nah, Tekka's growing, yo. I was really happy with what I heard.
Nah, it was fine. Because I told y'all, like, when I listen to projects, I just put it on and then I just put my phone, like, and if it's right, I just let it keep going. So I'm kind of mad that I didn't, like, look and see, like, what songs I could name, like, the songs that was, like, actually, like, really fire. But it's a good project.
The Neve record went crazy. Shout out to Neve. Nav. That Nav record went crazy.
The joint with Uzi is.
Yeah.
I'd say who the.
I thought he called him Neve from Catfish. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Nah, I messed it up. I said Neve.
I think Neve spit it.
I was like, wait, no, Nav, my bad.
I thought that was the name of one of the songs, since I don't look at the track list.
Nah, that was on me, man. AK, what have been your highlights?
Off rip, Brent. Shout out to the boy Brent. That Brent fight, like that, yeah. That's what I'm walking. Oh. That's perfect Brent vibes, yeah. That's perfect Brent vibes. Who else? I'm trying to think. Definitely SZA. Quelly Wu. Shout out to you, Arden. Yeah. Quelly Wu back out record. Yep. I swear. Honestly, I feel like if it was like Outside Was On, that would be the one right there.
Yeah.
Perky got me doing the Matrix. Like, nah, that's tough.
Until the back.
That's fat, but it's like the Miami. Yo, yep.
I'm a pit bull, nigga.
Nah, that shit tough.
Put down your knife and use your hands.
Then obviously like you guys said, yo, that's one of my favorite bars off that. Off rip. That's one of my favorite bars off that. You know, like y'all guys all said, that's basically said everything I want to say about Big Sean. And honestly, I've been the biggest Big Sean hater. Even though I don't hate, but you know what I mean. But critic, he shut me up. So I'll give him full props to the album. I'll give it a shot. Like I said, I think it's second best behind the ESP, Dark Sky, but it's a good album. And I got to think too on the Afrobeat side. The shorty
you've been smoking that. That Tommy, whatever her name is, Tomi.
Tommy Agape, yeah.
She's dope. Sugar Banner. I'm completely screw up the names, but
Sugar Banner, you got it right. Sugar Banner, you got it right.
Yeah, they smoked that. They smoked that for real.
They've been smoking a lot of shit. So like I was like what's the name again? Now Tommy Agape, yeah. I'm a Ray been dropping some dope shit. I think it's what's the newest one? Fancy. There's some fire joint.
Yeah, that Bella or Belly Schmurda.
Bella Schmurda. I like Bella Schmurda, but honestly, I think that was the only song that I really messed with him. The one that you, I think the Show Me. But Bella Schmurda is nice, but that for me, I can't really get into him too much like that. But he got some records I messed with. But there's another one. As off the top of my head, they just had it. But she's nice. Oh, Molly. That's another one. That's a new one. I think I'll put it on the playlist too. But that's another one I'm really liking, her entire EP. So those are like some of the people that I'm really like, just like been getting into. Oh, one last person. Some new guy, OBT. That's another guy. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. But that's just been a lot of, for me, I've been in my big like Afrobeats bag as of late. That's even without doing like the podcast, like not the podcast, the playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been listening to that a lot more than I've been listening to like a lot of the more rap and R&B stuff. So that's why I'm way behind on the Tucker. And that's why I'm still behind on the Armani Caesar. So that's the one I really want to check out though. So shout out to Armani. I'm gonna speak this into existence. I need a Megan Thee Stallion and Armani feature and a video accompanied with it, you know, for research purposes.
Nah, that's dope for real, man. I think September so far has been a very, very good month for all of us, man. Musically, keep it going. Hopefully in October, a certain Canadian drops, CLB. Because at this point, I'm getting tight with him sending all that damn merch and nothing else. You know, I'm getting tight now.
That merch shit about to go crazy, man. And I'm so mad because I'm just looking at it like, man, I'm going to get hired soon.
I need that jacket.
Yeah, I know, bro. I want that jacket. I need that jacket. I don't want the hats or whatever with the kisses because dudes on Twitter was joking. They was like, nah. They was like, yo, man, is out here wearing hats with Drake's lips on it. I was like, yeah, that's all I need to not get that hat. Even though I know it's not, but it's like I don't want that pressure going around. It's like back then when dudes was wearing truck fit, and it's like, yo, like, did you not hear Pop that?
Look at the truck.
Yeah, it's like they got Jake's lips.
Like, you don't remember that? Like,
yo, nah. Yo, Drake gotta make another one, man. Remove the lipstick, bro, Drake. Like, just move off the hat. Because them hats look fire. I'm not gonna hold you.
Of course, the classic Nike dad or golf hat is fire, but not with the lips on it, bro. Just for dudes.
Y'all know what I'm saying. Gotta take the lips off.
Yeah, like, nah.
You could just put like CLB and the Nike check as the L.
Yeah.
I'm so mad I ain't figured that out at the
I like that.
Before we move on, when at the end of the Only You freestyle video, when they had the CLB up, I'm so mad I ain't peeped that was CLB. I could have been guessed the album if I would have peeped. Instead, I just saw a whole bunch of sixes. I was like, oh yeah, that's the sixes. I'm dumb tight, bro. But you live and learn. But
no, thinking about it, my bad. I just want to say, like, I'm thinking, like, you know what, look, I feel the merch, like that hat merch. Yeah, as you just said about about the lip shit, that might not even be that like for us. I think that particular merch might just be like directed towards the ladies or some shit. I can see a lot of ladies wearing that. I can see a lot of ladies wearing that. Of course, but mad
people got the merch, and even the fellas got that hat. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, who knows? But I'm ready. But yeah, man. On the business tip, this past week, well, 2 weeks really, we've seen rap, you know, be on the forefront again when it comes to just business and contracts. It always seems to be a cycle where it's like the music, this, that, and the third, and then business, right? And for this week, it was Kanye West on the forefront, ladies and gentlemen, with him being overly active on Twitter again, but this time really talking about his recording situation in terms of his contracts over the course of his career. And this dude proceeded, I think this was like on Thursday, uploaded damn near his entire history of contracts that he signed with Universal, Def Jam, and me being the nerd that I am, I was reading those contracts. I won't lie. I was reading through them joints trying to figure out what it was, but it was just causing this conversation afterwards in terms of this again, like recording contracts, them being simplified, the labels or whoever not taking advantage of these artists knowing not to sign it. Just the typical conversation that we have. So, AK, just to start this off with you, from what you have saw with what Kanye was tweeting about, sharing the contracts and just him sharing his thoughts along with the aftermath, how have you been feeling about it?
Well, honestly, I expected something like this to happen, not really from Kanye, but more so from a majority of like artists in general, simply because of like how COVID is going on. Like, you know, I mean, niggas really not making that much money off of streaming. You know, obviously there's no tours right now, so you know, tour money is dead in the water at the moment. So I know there's a lot of artists struggling. So I was expecting a similar situation to happen, but I didn't expect like this shit to come from Kanye. But what I want to say is, it's a couple of things that really kind of like bothered me with the situation. The first is, one, I want to say that Kanye is absolutely right on what he's saying. right? You know, obviously a lot of these practices are predatory. Even though there's like been set in stone and precedent set in stone kind of, and you could argue like, oh yeah, all the way back in 1940s, 1950s, when, you know, for certain shit like distribution fees would have made sense back then. Obviously that shit don't make sense right now. So obviously like it's predatory, and especially on like black artists. But for me, when I'm hearing Kanye say all this shit, and then going for example, like the Hit Boy situation, saying, oh, getting the attitude because Hit Boy worked with, you know, Beyonce and shit like that. That to me just seems stupid and hypocritical. So you're telling us, oh, okay. Basically, you're telling us, oh, these white people should be able to do this, and honestly, they shouldn't. But I should be able to do it because I'm black. And that's kind of what I'm getting from that situation in that regard, right? Because it's like, yeah, you're speaking and you're spitting truth, real facts. But I'm not sure, but I'm curious on how much is for the benefit really of us as a whole, or how much it is for your own personal self. And to me, it's looking more towards like the personal self side, you know what I mean? But even looking through the conscious, I would say this, like, you know, some things I did like to see, you know, good music having all, you know, creative control of their shit. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not sure how far that would extend to like the artists. You understand? Because I'm not a contract nigga. I'm not no businessman, so I really don't know shit. Just assuming here, you know what I mean? But like from reading that contract, I don't know. Just felt like that creative control was like, you know what I mean, for Kanye solely. So I'm not trying to get at. So I don't know how much creative control the artist signed underneath him actually had in general. But especially if you're talking about the last Tiana Taylor situation.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So like that was interesting to see, but. Yeah, all I can say is, like, even though Kanye's spitting a lot of truth, a lot of this just to me seems is more for like personal gain than anything else. You know, and like at the end of the day, like a black capitalist is still a capitalist, and that's just what it looks like he's trying to do. So yeah.
Willz, what about you? Before I add some additional context to what AK said.
Well, I didn't like read all of it. I like browsed through some of the contracts or whatever and just like skim through them. So I didn't really read, but yeah, kind of what AK said. Like, I when I seen the Hit Boy shit, I kind of wasn't even feeling like how he reposted it, talking about Hit Boy when clearly, you know, like I don't fuck with Kanye basically because of what he's like. Bro, you're just gonna ignore the fact that you like just shitted on this man because he worked with Beyonce. Like you didn't even.
And just even to add to that point too. My bad. It's like. Not only did he apologize, kind of the sponsor that too was like, oh yeah, and just so you know, I wasn't mad at Hit Boy because he worked with Beyonce. He was like, oh, I was mad at Hit Boy because he worked with Beyonce and didn't let me, his label, own his label head no. And in my mind, I was like, yo, but ain't that the same shit you fighting against? You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, come on, like I don't get it. He said like then. Like, I get it. He's speaking the truth, and I understand, and it's cool. But it's just like certain shit is just like, are you doing it for yourself? Like I seen a tweet this morning. I think he tweeted yesterday. Like, yeah, we all need our masters, publishing, except for Drake. I'm just kidding. I love Drake too. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. I saw that as well. Of course.
There's always like a thin line between like jokes and like truth. Like you can be telling the joke and they have really nothing to do with the actual truth. And then sometimes you can tell a joke and that really be how you feel. I really think that's how he feels, bro. I really think so.
That's how I could see him saying in an interview and doing that fake laugh, but I could see you being serious about it. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm just like I don't know if I respect it. It's whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, Wells, go ahead.
Nah, I just say he just needs help. I hope nothing happens to him. I wish him well, but he really.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, and I think both of you guys, I think indirectly kind of alluded to, which is like everything with what's happening with the sharing of Kanye's contracts and all the information's coming out. It's one of those things where on one hand, it's actually pretty helpful to see all of this information and to see what it really is. But on the other hand, it's like what you guys said too, it's also very hypocritical because it's like if you go out and complain about your situation, which in comparison to other artists is actually more friendlier than theirs, because you're in a position where you already own some of your masters, and if you want to get the additional ones, you can get them back. But I think from what some of the contracts said, he can get it back at a later time. B, your access to money by the labels increased greatly over the years. I think at one point, Universal gave him like $12 million, a $12 million advance or budget, and he was able to keep maybe like 8 of it. And then there's a clause in the contract that also says he can keep whatever money that is left over. So it's like, all right, you already own some of your masters. You get bigger budgets than everybody else. The labels actually allow you to keep a lot of the money that's left over. And then you also think about it, well, you're also a label head too. So we don't know how you're treating your artists at Good Music. Like, we don't know how that is. We don't know how you're treating Sean. I mean, folks are looking from the outside in and they see how you treat Tiana and how her rollouts have been. People really don't know. So I think for me, the best word I will look at it as is just complicated.
Word. And wasn't he recently trying to even sell Good Music to Def Jam? Like
that, I don't know. You could be breaking some news here. You could be breaking some news here. I ain't know.
Heard some shit about him even trying to sell his label to Def Jam. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard.
I can believe that. I don't know how true it is either, but I can believe it. Keeping 100.
Yeah. And last year, by the way, he had a settlement with I think it was Sony. He had a settlement with Sony when he had that lawsuit last year against Sony Universal.
Yeah.
And he settled with one of them, and I think his Universal lawsuit, or one of them, is still ongoing. So I think it's just very complicated, because it's like, on one hand, it's like, yay, I feel you, but on the other hand, it's like, bruh, if Hit Boy's coming out saying what you're saying, Mace even gave him a little jab yesterday. That was on his Instagram. That was nuts.
Oh, but Mace say, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that one.
Wells, you want to tell him?
I forgot the line. Kanye said, "Don't." Basically, in I forgot what song, and I forgot the line, but there was a line.
Don't
Kanye,
leave when you hide. That's how Mace screwed up. I think that was the devil in a red dress with Ross.
Yeah. So Mace basically quoted that or whatever, and is basically saying like, I've been trying to tell y'all to leave and shit like that. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, it really be like that though. You know what I mean?
And another thing, like when you look at the contracts, like there's if I remember, there's like amendments like in different years too, like to those contracts. So it's not like it's not like he just signed it and like didn't know. He signed it, realized, oh, some shit ain't right. I want this done. I want this done.
And he did it over and over.
Yeah,
it's like he did it over and over.
Exactly. So, but I mean, like, again, like I said, like, he's right in the sense of like, yo, yeah, we should be owning our masters. We should be doing all this. But for one thing, and not to mention, like, he's different than other artists in the sense that like he's Kanye, like he's superstar, like on a different tier. Even with all this negative press and shit going on about him, he's still like in a different tier, like amongst all the niggas. So he obviously has a little bit more like sway that he can than the regular people. You know what I mean? But even so, like, it's just all sketchy, man. Like
it's all sketchy, bro.
The Hit Boy joint, especially, and like even your defense over the Hit Boy thing doesn't make any sense, man. Like I can't understand why you would be like, oh nah, but it's because they didn't tell me his neighborhood. That's the same shit you're trying to fight against. That's really what
it's all of that stuff, bro. It's gonna lead to that collision course, man, of just, all right, who's really gonna do what with their contracts? Like, who's gonna be willing to really step out? Who's really gonna be willing to make some changes and do some things, man? Because again, for Ye, it's like, I feel what you're saying, bro. But you signed multiple contracts over the years, and to be honest with you, over the last 10 years, you didn't really have to sign a contract. Like, you didn't really have to agree to those terms, or whatever the case may be, that was with, Universal, like, or in Def Jam. Like, you really didn't have to. So I'm very interested in seeing that and just going from there. You know what I mean? But Wells, just to fill you back in. Yeah, man, before we move on, yeah, AK and I was just agreeing on, once again, it's just such a complicated matter from looking at everything. You know, like on one hand, you agree with him, on the other, it's like, hey, you know, you could be in the same position to do the same thing too.
Exactly.
Hold on, like how true was that that Jay-Z sold Ye's masters to get his masters back? Because I remember the tweet that said it, and I was reading that particular content that he posted, but like that page didn't really give me too much. All of this said was like how much, like how much he was gonna drop. Like, that's pretty much it.
I didn't really see much confirmation of that, and the timing might look a little bit off because I think that deal either was around when Hove was president of Def Jam or left, but I also really wouldn't know how it would have worked out. And I haven't really seen any big publications confirm that and their recaps of it.
That's why there's some rumor shit that some niggas started that. I remember seeing that shit. I'm reading that content, I'm like, but if Hove did it, shit, that was dirty. But I'm just like, yo, but this doesn't really read like that. It just reads like, yo, we just gonna own the masters for these next 6 hours that you do, which to me, good. Understand what I mean? Like that would make sense, like, perspective. But yeah,
absolutely, you're not lying about that. But next topic we got on the docket before we wrap up: Joe Budden versus Charlamagne, and a back and forth of the media personalities, the content creators. Over the last month, we've seen, for those that pay attention to like the Joe Budden podcast, we've seen his contract situation be played out in public with Spotify, along with their deal officially wrapping up. We've seen Charlamagne publicly or privately figure out ways to improve his standing over there at iHeart or in general. And just recently, Charlamagne and iHeart Radio are collaborating on a new network for Black voices called the Black Effect Podcast Network. But both sides have just been going back and forth with each other. You know, Charlamagne going on the you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Joe fighting back, talking about there's a difference between you and I. Be Mike All Stars. I own, you don't. Da 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 da. Willz, have you been paying attention to anything that's been happening between these two men?
Honestly, no. I didn't know. I didn't know they was going back and forth like that. I seen last thing I seen about them was when the shit came out about Joe and the dog and all that other stuff and whatever. I seen I was watching like the Breakfast Club, and when they asked Charlamagne about it, he kind of just didn't want to talk about Joe, but he kind of like threw shade too. So
honestly, to kick this off, I first things first, I think both guys gotta like stop lying to each other. You guys aren't friends. Like that's a fact. Like you guys aren't friends. Yeah, try to do this friendly banter, da 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 da. And I get, for a while during a time like this, Black folk gotta support Black folk and do all this stuff. But I think you guys can do that from afar without faking the friendship and being like, oh, let's respect the peace treaty. Nah. Because you guys are starting to violate whatever quote unquote peace treaty this is, as two noticeable personalities in the business. You know what I mean? With these sneak shots. And I think in one of Joe's recent response, AK, I think you've seen this, Joe was starting to get a little dirty. He was about to start playing that smear campaign game and all that stuff, talking about I could go down to South Carolina and speak with a young lady about some things. And yeah, man, I just think at this point, it's like you guys clearly aren't friends. And what was said between you guys was also right. Both of you guys are in the same situation, but with different circumstances. Joe, you're the independent that's owning everything, trying to do what they can do. Charlotte is in the system. He's in the machine trying to do what he can do. But I don't see the point of y'all fighting anymore, man. It's at this point, and for the viewers, by the way, of our pod, I'm going through a technical issue, so I got to record on my phone. But if I was able to connect to my laptop, I actually had a cue of Joe's response ready. So I'll put that in there for y'all to listen to as you're listening to this show live. AK, how do you feel about this?
Honestly, man, like it's stupid to me. Like I wasn't. I would put it this way. I wasn't really keeping up with it. I just because I listened to the Joe Budden podcast, I would hear like Joel's response to it. I never really paid attention to what Charlamagne was doing. And even when Joe was talking about the whole situation, it just really seemed to me like you said, they're not really friends. I don't know why y'all still wanna, but it's acting like they are. But yeah, it's just
meet up for yearly recaps.
Yeah. I'm about to say though, one thing though, if Charlamagne really is the one doing that whole smear campaign shit, I lost a lot of respect for that nigga. It's one thing if it's coming from like Spotify or iHeart, because I can understand that shit because those are like top corporations, big corporations. I can see them doing that, but I shouldn't be seeing like another black man doing that to another black man. That's just come on. Especially one that always be preaching all this all pro black shit too, like Charlamagne. Cause like, what the fuck you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yep. And like, even though I didn't agree with Joe being like, yo, I can do the whole smear shit too. I understand where he's coming from on some shit like, yo, look, fam, I'm not one of those like on some. He's not one of those people that like when it comes to like that part of the business world, because niggas are gonna be shady, niggas are gonna be dirty. I understand he's saying like, look, I'm not afraid to get down and dirty like them. So I understand that and I respect that. But at the same time, in the situation, it's two black men. If you want to do that shit, handle that shit like privately. You know what I mean? It's like when, some shit happen with like your family or like with like when you're with your friends outside, like they might have been riding outside, but you're not gonna do that shit out in the open. You're gonna like bring them up, you pull them aside privately and be like, yo, bro, you was wilding out. You know what I mean? Like when we as black people, we gotta. This isn't on like some respectability politics shit, but it's just on like, yo, we can be for each other outside and open, but sometimes like this, when it's with our own community, just come within our own community and be like, yo, we gotta check you. Like you wilding out. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and you don't want it to extend before it passes to Willz to get your reaction off to what we're saying, because it's like, it's just what's really the point? You know what I mean? Like, what's really the point? It's like you guys can honestly just look at it and go, look, if you're really focused on you and want to do your thing, then you guys can easily do this. It's sort of like that thing, like, yeah, you're in the same space, but you guys really don't do the same thing. Like, you guys really don't have the same intention. So why even trip and have this potential rivalry or friendship/rivalry? It's like, to each their own. Like, you can do your thing, the other can do their thing, you know?
Yeah, it's stupid. They should just, I don't know. They're not really friends, like y'all said. Yeah, I don't know. It's corny for me. I never thought they were really friends. I just thought, like, they work for the same people and they just put them together to do that end of the year shit.
That's what I thought.
Like, they just
Joe was saying how, like, I think during one of his recent rebuttals against him, he's like, remember, like, I hired you, like, I pay you for that. So he was trying to flip that on him as well during that hour-long soliloquy he had. But it's just weird, man. It's salute to Elliott Wilson and them, man, for just chilling and doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? Elliott don't be bothering nobody. He be chilling, bro. But yeah, man. I know for me, I'm just very interested, and I don't think I had the chance to really speak to Angelo about it when we were all together filming In the Ring, by the way, which is dropping Monday. So by the time you guys hear this, it'll already be out, episode 1, Willz and AK's new endeavor, 4-side presentation. I just want to see whether or not Charlamagne, as we wrap this episode up, just actually has some ownership. That's what I care about. Because honestly, right now, my feeling is iHeart is just using him to be the face of this.
Yeah.
That's how I personally feel. I would love to be wrong, but that's how I feel.
It's the podcast label. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the podcast vanity label, like this is basically like, going back, trying to go back to the Ye shit. It's like, yo, Ye going up to Universal, be like, yo, I got good music. What's up? Get some artists. And like the funny thing is, like I think like even Joe said it, like, yo, the flagship is basically gonna be like some other like not Joe Budden, like the Breakfast Club. It's gonna be like a Charlamagne done thing, but that's on iHeart. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That which is basically what good music is. And like I remember, like if you like a lot of these should still be the same game. They're just basically trying to run the same game in this podcast shit.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be very interesting. That's all I really care to see is like whether he owns it, whether he's really doing what he can do. And I think for Joe, it's just at this point, Joe, it's, man, just be fully independent. do everything. You can get the investors, you can get the funds, you can get all that stuff, man. Like, you might as well, like, because it's gonna get tiring if you keep on talking about the companies and this, that, and the third, and you willingly choose to align yourself with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you better off just doing it.
But if anything, I think, like, for example, like, if you look at a nigga like Nipsey, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Joe, like I remember, like, Nipsey, like, always used to say this in his interviews, like, yo, I had leverage when I went to Atlantic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, I remember, like, with Nipsey's first day, I think his first day was with Epic and them. I think that's around the time he had, like, the Bullets Have No Name series and stuff like that, right? I think it was with Epic. Like, shit ain't really work out, but he said, like, yo, when I went to Atlantic, I had leverage. I already had all this shit built up. I already had everything, like, you know, and even though he did it independent for a number of times, like, he had everything, like, built up already. So, like, when he went to Atlantic, he's like, yo, I got this here, and he's able to build a partnership where, like, he said shit was 50-50. And, you know, I'm going to trust Nipsey on his word on that shit, right? So I think with Joe, I feel like even before like the Spotify shit, 'cause I get what he was saying with Spotify. It was like, yo, we were doing all crazy good numbers even before the Spotify deal, right? The Spotify shit was just to see and gauge, like, yo, how would we fit in a new market and everything like that. So like they said, they technically were the guinea pigs on some shit.
Which I totally get.
I totally get that. So they did that. Even though Spotify didn't get in the data that they really wanted, they still got data out of it. They still got understanding out of it. So I think, and we know, like, and everybody all knows that, look, after Spotify got the Joe Budden podcast, shit went, they started getting everything else other podcast related. We know that that's their flagship shit. And when they saw how good that they started doing podcasts and everything else. So we know that. So I think that's Joe's leverage. So I feel, if, let's say he wanted to do some shit with, like, Apple, whatever, I think Joe God probably will have enough leverage enough to be like, yo, I don't really want this to be some exclusive shit. Let's just be everywhere. And Apple will probably be like, we'll give you the bad, but, like, maybe instead of you like you putting just YouTube videos on, maybe we got, like, exclusive behind the scenes shit for, like, the Apple Music side. You know what I mean? Maybe some shit like that probably happened. But I can see that, because I can really see Joe and the whole podcast is putting that shit on some, like, yo, 50-50 partnership level and getting their bread too. If they do independent, they can do that shit too, and it will still work out for them. But I honestly feel they probably gonna try that 50-50 shit.
But hey, that's about it. Episode 133 of the Foresight Podcast. Again, any other clips or stuff, we'll have that edited in here so you guys will hear it. Again, folks, make sure you follow us on social media at Foresight Network. Visit the official website, foresightenY.com. Make sure you go to our Apple Music and Spotify page to hear the new weekly playlists that are updated every week. Check out In the Ring episode 1 when it drops on Monday. Great show, great season we're about to have. And as we always say, for the guys up top, for the guys down low, you already know how we rock it, man. Talk to you next time.